Hey guys, it's me, your girl Chris. Welcome to episode 102 of Shenanigans with Friends. Thank you so much for being here. It's always fun. I think I'm getting used to this, like talking to myself on video thing, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, got my mic, got my stories. Let's get into it, okay? All right, so and I know you guys are gonna be like, damn, Chris, like you really dropped the ball last week by not bringing up SoHo Karen. Boop. Let me show you. First of all, she was definitely in my notes. Second of all, how about sometimes you gotta let shit like simmer, right? Like you gotta let shit like just sit on the heat and simmer and get a little bit more bubbly, get a little bit more spicier. And didn't it fucking get more spicier? So, if you guys don't know, last week it was reported that this woman basically attacked this 14-year-old black kid, basically being like, yo, you got my fucking iPhone, like, and like putting her hands on him, like lunging at him, like over the cell phone that she claims was hers, right? That's all we really knew last week. We found out that his dad was like famous or something, or like he won some kind of award somewhere, whatever. It don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. His dad's profession doesn't make it okay or not okay either way, right? So anyway, so we find out that this kid is not like a fucking bum ass kid. That's basically the point that we're trying to put out there. It's not a kid that would be stealing something for what. He has his own things. But we come to find out, not only was that not her fucking cell phone, she left her fucking cell phone in an Uber. And I think about like the whitest shit that she said during the video, and it was definitely when they said, "Why don't you use Find My iPhone?" And to which she responds, "I did, and it's right there." Like, bitch, okay, you clearly didn't though. And Find My iPhone is not just like visibly scanning the room for the next iPhone and then saying it's yours. I don't think that's how the app works. I have a Galaxy. I don't know, but I have a strong feeling though, just because niggas with iPhones be around me. That's not how the app works. But I see what you did there. So turns out, come to find out, her fucking phone was in an Uber somewhere. So now you know how it is, like when people, because they call her SoHo, and so you know how it is when Karens like go through their shit, right? Like they want you to feel bad, they want you to feel empathy, like, oh, don't treat me like this, blah blah blah, disregarding the fact of how you were treating someone, which is why you were in a Karen situation. But the first thing they do is just be like, hey, like, this isn't me. This isn't what I do. I'm Puerto Rican. Like, first of all, bitch, you can definitely still be a Karen and not be white. I don't think that was one of the, though it is a nice, what is the word? Classification for most Karen situations. That is not the fucking, it's not the rule, I don't think. Like, I don't think, I never really thought about it, but I don't think that that's the rule. I think that Karen is a vibe. It's a feeling. It's a being rude. It's a lunging at a 14-year-old. It's a talking about you use the iPhone app and you found it and it's in his hand. Like stuff like that. So I don't really know that your ethnicity truly categorizes or cannot categorize you as a Karen. But again, I see what you did there. So then, and again, stuff that you would have never known last week is that she has a history of this. This is not the first lobby that she's acted a whole asshole in at all. It's not. Her and her mother, I think, got arrested last year because they were being hella drunk in a like a, what do you call it? What do you call these lobbies? Like, what am I doing? What is this? I'm guys, if you're just listening to the audio at this point, if I'm recording myself visually, I'm gonna need y'all to run it back and check these, because sometimes I'm doing things with my hands and I need y'all to see what I'm doing. Anyway, so so she's used to this. So this is nothing new. So we can tell her to suck a dick on all of her apologies, or not even apologies, but like, this isn't me and this isn't who I am. Because I don't really recall in all of the articles that I've been kind of reading all week, I don't recall her ever apologizing to that kid or his father or black people or iPhone users. I don't even know how vast the fucking apology needs to happen, but where is it is what I'm asking. So now apparently as of 4 hours ago, the NYPD is flying to California to question SoHo Karen. Her name is like Maya. I want to say Maya or Mia. You guys see that, Brody? Okay, so if you guys are watching this visually, I know you guys are like what is that? So it's not a fucking bruise. Like, I'm not being fucking like, what is that? Abused. It's not a bruise because I'm not being abused. But so I was making tamales like 2 weeks ago. And when I pulled the top, because if y'all know, like the steam and shit, I pulled the top and my fucking arm like hit the fucking top and it is burned. Like, it's fine though. Like, it don't hurt or nothing no more. But like, wow. Tamales were bomb though. But like, it's my dominant hand, so I keep reaching up and I'm seeing it and it's hella ugly. And I'm sorry, but I don't have that body makeup by Kim Kardashian and I don't know. Anyway, so that's what happened. Fucking tamale burn. So anyway, basically, SoHo Karen is just out here just wanting you to feel bad. And that is very Karen. And that's why I know the fucking Karen idea is a vibe. It's not like an ethnicity. It's not a race. Like, it is a vibe. And she has it. Like, so I don't know if she's going to get arrested. Like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like niggas put their hands on my kid. I'm definitely like, if they don't arrest you, I definitely need them to hold your hands back so I can give you just two, you know what I'm saying? Just two chin checks, because like I will fucking murder you. And that's another thing is like last week when I was like watching the video, I was like super upset about it. Like, I have a fucking almost 12-year-old. I don't fucking play about him. I don't play about my daughter either, but I don't fucking play about my son, okay? And like, just like to watch a video of like a white lady lunging at a fucking black kid just ignited all of the Django inside of me. And I wanted to do something and I wanted to march. And I just wanted to do so much and I just couldn't. So I let it sit only to get better news about her. So there we go. So fuck SoHo Karen. I'm not even gonna call her by her name. Like, her name is SoHo Karen. And the fact that she was like, oh, but I'm Puerto Rican. Like, girl, what does that have to do? But again, Karen is a vibe. It's not an ethnicity. Anyways. Did I really set this up like this? Guys, okay. So speaking of things being a vibe and not a thing. Like, remember Malachi Love Robinson? If you guys don't remember him, he was the 18-year-old that was arrested for practicing medicine. And so remember when we were first hearing about that story and it was like super popping on Twitter and everybody's like, oh, he's being fake being a doctor, blah, blah. And like, that part's important. But what's more important is that he had funneled about $34,000 in funds from people's like accounts to pay for like car notes and stuff. So like, on top of him like not being a real fucking doctor, he's also a fucking scammer. So the reason I bring him up in 2021, see how you could you could fix it now. You can't be like, oh, 2020. Like, you can be like 2021, right? So you can change it. I love that. 21. Anyway, so the reason I bring this up now is and you know what? We should have known. Like, we knew he was from Florida, right? Like, these, again, fake being a doctor, $35,000 stealing from old people, very Florida vibes for me. So Malachi Love Robinson pled guilty to practicing medicine as a teen, right? So then recently he gets booked Thursday morning. This is last week. So because today is Tuesday. So he was booked last week in Palm Beach County Jail on charges of grand theft and fraud. Let's see here. So CNN, I love how CNN wrote that they was trying to contact him for comment. Like, he's not going to talk to y'all probably. So according to an affidavit from the police department, he got a job. That's not a doctor, but he was a contracted employee for a shipping broker. And so here you are thinking, oh, you found a real job. Like, this is your new career. You're going to get your life together. So he's accused of stealing from his employer early last year by rerouting payments from the business to his personal accounts for about $10,000. It's a little over that amount of money. So when he got caught, when he got found out, I guess he was like text messaging his fucking employer, basically like saying things like, quote unquote, that he fucked himself, and saying that he was doing everything he can to make it right and that he didn't want to go to jail. So like I don't like, when do you get to steal 10 G's from an employer and they just be texting you about it? Like, that alone makes me feel like we need to check into the actual job he had, because I don't know what's happening here. But anyway, so he was arrested by this because he had promised the employer that he was going to refund the money. He didn't refund the money. The police, they called the fucking cops. He was arrested, but he got released on a bond on that same day that he got arrested. So let's just go back a little bit to like 2015, because when we were making fun of this on Twitter, we didn't really indulge into like what was really happening, y'all. Like, okay, so I told you guys, he was 18 years old. He was, let me tell you how he got caught. A fucking undercover cop went in to go get an exam. And he was like, he examined him and was just like, basically like, okay, this is what you need to do. Take 2 of these, call me next week. Like, real, you know what I'm saying? Like, he a doctor type shit. He was not a doctor, my guys. Anyway, so he was fucking, so they caught him. They was like, oh, so you giving medical advice and writing prescription? Okay, got you. So they arrested him. He, for fraud and larceny. And then, as I mentioned, using people's checking accounts information. And here's the thing. Do you steal $34,000 from one person or 25 people? I am not a scammer and I do not recommend it. Seems like there had to have been a better way to get his hand on $34,000, because if somebody take $34,000 from one person, they are probably going to recognize it. Like, hence the fucking setup. Okay. So anyway, and then, so this was in 2015. In 2016, September, he was arrested in Virginia. So he be hopping on accusations of fraud again. I had to say it this time. And I totally had it in my mind right. And I still had to say it wrong. Fraud. Okay. So at this point, he was trying to buy a $35,000 Jaguar. And he was getting a co-signer. It was an old ass lady, but she wasn't there. She didn't know that she was co-signing for his car. It's just a thing. He just woke up and was like, you about to co-sign for my car? Bet. And went to go get a Jaguar. Anyway, so he was sentenced to 5 years in prison after pleading guilty to one of the Virginia charges, which again, for the $35,000. And 4 years of that was to be suspended. And I think that means that they pretty much said, like, it's already, I don't know how that works. I've only been in jail once. So I don't know. But he only ended up basically doing one of those 5. And then after he got released the next year, he pled guilty to the earlier charges from Florida from when he got caught under the sting and whatever. So he was sentenced to more than 3 years in prison, but was issued 16 months of credit served. So basically, he never really gets punished for the things that he's doing, which is why he keeps getting out and doing more things. Like, so I don't know if you guys need to, like, where's the nigga that fucking sketched the picture of the leprechaun? Find this guy, get him to fucking sketch a picture of Malachi Love Robinson, put it at all the gynecologists, all of the doctors, all of the internal medicine doctors, so that they don't let this nigga in. Who is checking this nigga's, like, resume? And then, like, when you get to be it, like, okay, so you go and you be like, oh, I'm a doctor, it's a new hospital, I'm trying to work here as a doctor. Like, they don't just ask you, like, doctor questions. Like, they don't just be like, give me a venipuncture. Like, they don't do any of that. They don't do any of that stuff. Like, I don't know. I've never tried out to be a doctor, so I don't know. Just a fucking medical assistant. Nothing further than that. Like, so I don't know. Malachi. Also, when is the time that you've known a kid or a man named Malachi and they haven't been bad as shit? Seriously, if you know a Malachi that is a fucking angel and a saint, not send him my way, because that's fine. But, like, let me know, because, like, I don't believe you. All Malachis are bad as fuck, and Malachi Love Robinson is fucking proof of that. Okay. All right. So, speaking of famous names, right? I guess like Malachi's been famous for being a fake doctor. This man in England, is now named after a famous person. I guess during quarantine, he's been watching a lot of Celine Dion concerts and getting drunk. One on Christmas Eve, he drank a whole bottle of champagne, and then he went online and paid 89 pounds, and 89 pounds is roughly like $121. So he paid $121 online to change his name. He says he doesn't remember doing it, which is concerning to me. So basically, he didn't know what happened until the letters or the paperwork came in the mail, and it was basically like, congratulations, you successfully changed your name to Celine Dion. And it's like he saw it, and I guess he didn't believe it, but then like anyway, it's real as fuck. He really changed his name. He's not really in a super rush to get it changed now, because I think he's trying to figure out if like he could trick niggas into thinking he's Celine Dion. I don't really know what his plan is, but here's the thing. Why the fuck do the fucking captcha, whatever you call it, the fucking are you a robot things? Why do those things where it'd be like, click all the ones with the fire hydrant? Why do those things come up when we be trying to do basic shit, but a nigga is drunk off his ass and it didn't like the fucking, it didn't like, are you a robot him? Like while he was fucking trying to change his name to another person's name already. Like, oh my goodness gracious. I don't understand. So basically he's going to he's gonna fucking wear this out and see what being Celine Dion gets him. He came on his Twitter to tell everybody that he didn't get her vocals or her bank account, and it's like, okay, nigga, okay. Now I'm starting to think this is a fucking joke, because like, what the fuck? Anyway, that is his name. His name used to be Thomas Dodd. Now his name's Celine Dion. I guess we can all guess that he's probably not married, so none of this matters. But yeah, I mean, Celine Dion ain't really doing nothing. Like, she had an album, I think, in 2019. She didn't get to tour last year because of the pandemic. I mean, maybe they'll get together and do a Celine tour. I don't know. I don't really know what he's going to get out of it. I'm going to give him like 6 months before he gets tired of either niggas calling him Celine or nothing coming of it, or him not turning around when niggas are calling his name, or he misses Thomas. I don't know. One of those things. So anyway, all right. So Celine Dion, like Celine Dion, like, can you can just change your last name too? Like, just change your whole thing. All right. Well, Celine Dion Dodd. It's Thomas Dodd. This is terrible. I mean, that's a shitty first name or first and last name anyway, but I don't know that I would have gone to Celine Dion. I don't know. Anyway, let's move to other terrible ideas. During the pandemic, a lot of food companies and fast food restaurants are like really trying to like up and like come up with new and unusual menu things. Like, so just all this outlandish stuff. And we've all seen it, like, and then like all of the 500,000 chicken sandwiches now, like, what the fuck? But anyway, Pizza Hut, which apparently has been on the troll all last year. They created things like a ramen pizza last year, a Christmas pizza, which I can't even believe I missed. Like, I really be trying to stay on top of these insane fucking things, but it's in the UK. And basically it is, the Christmas pizza is rotisserie chicken, bacon, sage, onion stuffing, and with a red wine gravy base. I don't understand or like any of that. But that was on a pizza in the UK. And then the ramen pizza was out, and then also an IKEA inspired pizza. And basically it's just like sitting on like a IKEA, like kind of like table, like, but it's just a cheese pizza with those Swedish meatballs on it. And people tell me that they're good, but I just can't bring myself to eat meatballs from a place where I'd be trying to get furniture and like, and kitchen accessories. I can't see it. So I don't know. But anyway, so all of those things are things that Pizza Hut has been doing before. And so they decided to kind of make a twist on, like, I guess one of their famous pizzas, the stuffed crust pizza. Now, I know you're thinking, like, what could they possibly do to the stuffed crust pizza? Take the fucking pizza out. So it's literally just a ring of crust with cheese inside. If anybody's ever had a fucking Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza, you know that by the time that pizza gets to you, that cheese is on one side of the fucking crust and it is not delicious at all. Like, I literally think you have to eat stuffed crust pizza straight out the oven because you work there. Like, I'd never had, Pizza Hut is not even my favorite pizza, like, at all. Like, I would so prefer, like, home, like, mom and pops, like, corner, like, shops. But, like, I don't know what... It's a pizzaless pizza, y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just crust. Like, it's just crust. Like, it's just a ring of crust. Like, you know, like those sandwich rings or like pizza rings that like you make on Pinterest. It literally is just that. Or just imagine a pizza with stuffed crust and then close your eyes and then open your eyes and now the pizza part is gone. Like, and then they have the nerve to serve it in the pizza box. Like, what the fuck? Okay, listen. Luckily, it's not everywhere. And apparently it comes, it's a promotional dish that you can get by making a purchase of $10 or more. So you can't even just buy it. You got to buy other food because they know this shit is trash. I think it's only available in 2 places. Where is it available? Hold on, I'm going to find out. Damn it. But it's only happening until like the 17th, like from today until the 17th. I can't fucking see where it's at, but it ain't here, and I'm glad because I don't want that shit. But I don't be ordering pizza anyway. Like, I used to live like right, like, so my last condo was like here, and then like the Pizza Hut was like right over the wall basically, and like my kids wore me out. I literally cannot, like, I honestly would rather make my pizza, but if I can't, I definitely still don't want it from there. I definitely want to get it from somewhere else. So I can keep this pizzaless, like, is it a pizzaless pizza or is it a pizzaless crust? Like, and I don't want to say crust because that already sounds dry and uninteresting. Like, I don't fucking know, G, but it's all bad. Let's move on. So, killer Christmas trees. That's basically all I have to say. A couple things, and I didn't even write this down, but I just said Christmas tree verbally, and I just wanted to, like, I saw this article like last night or the night before because I'd just be getting high and I'd just be like scrolling. And it was like basically giving people ideas of like what to do. Like, don't throw your Christmas tree out. Like, basically like use the needles and shit for stuff. Like, I saw like Christmas tree pickles, and it was just basically like you just have to like brine the pickle in like vinegar and Christmas tree needles. And that just sounds very no thank you. That sounds very Man versus Wild, and I'm really not interested in that. So I didn't bring it up in my notes for the show because I was like, yuck. But then I just said Christmas tree and killer Christmas tree, and it made me think about that. But I'm talking about a Christmas tree costume. You know, the ones that have like the air, the fan inside that kind of blows them up and makes them kind of inflatable. There's a fucking Christmas tree costume that was worn at the Kaiser Permanente Medical Center in San Jose, California. And it was worn on one day, and it helped infect more than 40 staff members and killing one of the staff members at this Kaiser Permanente San Jose. The person that had the costume on didn't test for COVID, but somehow something happened, and people think that they're investigating now if whether the costume worn by that person on the Christmas day would have contributed to the outbreak by spreading droplets through the air. So while that fan's doing this, like just the intake and the outtake of like the air droplets that would be going on in the fucking hospital. But clearly, and like it is like, I don't even know, like 40 fucking people. Could you imagine like putting on a fucking Christmas like tree costume to go to like hospital room to like make people feel better about having to be in the hospital on Christmas, and then like while you're spreading that joy, you're also spreading COVID to fucking other people in the fucking hospital. It's really crazy. And one person died. They of course aren't releasing the name, just trying to, you know, protect the family's privacy and all that. And I get it. Like honestly, like watching the way that some of the news outlets and things like are reporting the way that people are dying, if it has something to do with COVID, it is a little tasteless. I'm not gonna lie and say that it's not. So I get it, you know, I get it. But anyway, so Kaiser Permanente San Jose is undergoing a super deep clean. I don't know what that means when California is like they're running out of places to put people. So I don't know how you deep clean something that is like overcrowded. But that's what they said they're working on. You know, so I guess. Speaking of, I'm going to go a little bit out of order. So just speaking of California and like the state that it's in just because of the COVID, you know, outbreak or whatever. So you've got Kaiser Permanente San Jose trying to deep clean a place that's overcrowded. And then there's also reports that have come out recently for LA County that's basically saying that the emergency EMT drivers are basically not supposed to pick up certain types of people. I'll tell you more details in just a moment, but basically it's if they don't think that somebody can survive, or if they don't think that, you know, if somebody's having like where they don't think that they'll survive the ride to the hospital, they're telling the EMTs to not pick these people up. This is again in Los Angeles County right now. This is a county that is being devastated by COVID-19. So we've got hospitals that are so fucking backed up that ambulances will have people in the ambulance pulling up to the hospital and they can't even get out of the ambulance because there's literally nowhere for these people to go. So I assume that this is in an attempt to bring down who gets taken to the hospital and who doesn't. I really don't know. The actual memo says, let's get it. It says effective immediately due to the severe impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on EMS and 911 receiving hospitals, adult patients. So this isn't affecting children, but 18 years of age or older who are in blunt traumatic and non-traumatic out-of-hospital cardiac arrests shall not be transported if return of spontaneous circulation is not achieved in the field. So basically, if somebody stops breathing, right, they only have a certain amount of time to try to get those vitals back up for that person. If they're not able to achieve that, for them to start breathing on their own and their body reacting to things on their own, then they're not supposed to bring them in. So if a patient has no signs of breathing or a pulse, the EMTs will try to resuscitate for at least 20 minutes. But if the patient is only if the patient is stabilized during that time would they be taken to a hospital. If the patient is declared dead at the scene or no pulse can be restored, they're not even going to drive them to the hospital to use the machines and see if they can do better. But the EMTs have their own machines that are basically what the hospital has. But I mean, that's what's happening in LA County, guys. Like, and then think of it like this. The beds are short, so obviously the oxygen supply is short, right? So again, people patients who have oxygen saturation below 90, those are the only ones that that are getting oxygen. So if people are having complications from COVID-19, but that's causing them to restrict the ability to, you know, to get oxygen from the air. If their oxygen saturation is 91, they aren't giving them oxygen. It is, And I see to an extent of what they're trying to do here. And it's devastating because they don't have any place to put these people. But then I think about all the people that aren't affected by COVID, that go through these things or need help or need the hospital, and they can't even get there, or they get there and they can't even go in. Like, that shit is crazy to me. I'm having a real hard time like wrapping my head around it. But again, administrative wise, I understand what they're trying to do. And honestly, anybody who has at least 90% of oxygen saturation, so like that's your O2, guys. I feel like I'm like talking to like a medical assistant right now. But anyway, so as long as you have like an oxygen saturation of at least 90, you can maintain normal circulation. So there's no damage to your organs, tissues, blood, any of that. Or excuse me, circulation of blood to those places. So I know that maybe it sounds weird that like, oh, they wouldn't give oxygen to somebody, but in most circumstances, not all circumstances, because there are some things that don't follow the rules, but in most circumstances, as long as somebody has an O2 level of 90%, they are generally going to be okay. And the lack of receiving additional oxygen is not going to be the demise of that person. So yeah, I don't know, man. LA County is having a real hard time. California is having a real hard time. With the holidays just leaving, of course that fueled more of a spread. At this point, California has the most COVID cases. About 1 in 9 of Americans end up with COVID that live in California. So if 10 niggas in California, one of them has COVID, probably more. Like, it's crazy. And they expect the increases to continue for weeks. But the problem is, guys, is what are they going to do with these people? Where are they going to take them? And so they're trying to come up with these plans. And I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. The O2 saturation, the oxygen levels, I get that part. I just don't know about that cardiac arrest part. I don't know. It just, to me, it seems like it would be really hard to watch somebody that I love experiencing that, and the hospital not thinking it's important enough to take them. And it's not that, I don't want to say that they don't think it's not important enough, but they're just thinking realistically about like, where the fuck are we going to put them, So I don't know. It's a tough time, guys. So LA is going through it. So speaking of COVID, you guys all know that the vaccine has been rolling out recently, and Tennessee is already accused of like hoarding the COVID-19 vaccine. Basically, a whole bunch of people were standing in line for hours and hours and hours at a Tennessee health clinic, looking to have the vaccine. A lot of the people in line were elderly. Okay, so these people are standing in line and waiting in line all this time. And they get to the front, and these workers tell them, oh, we don't have any more COVID vaccines. We're out. It's only to find out that about 30 minutes, 40 minutes after that, the people that were working that section called their friends, called their family, and being like, yo, I got this COVID-19 vaccine, which I think is pretty fucked up, because from the fucking plan that they're telling us is that the elderly people are going to be the ones that definitely need this. And to be turning people away already to make sure that your stinking ass auntie gets COVID, when your auntie don't never wear a mask and she just be outside anyway. Like, she probably deserves to get COVID. But like, they called and told their friends and relatives that the vaccines were still available after they had turned away all these people. And then... let me see. Where am I? Oh, okay. So then they come to find out, people found out. So they're like, oh, we didn't turn those people away. It's just a miscalculation. And so they discovered at that point they had more than they originally thought. And at that point, they were just trying to make use of them before it thawed and spoiled. Stop it. Is that real? So you guys turned elderly people away in order to give them to your friends and family, only to turn around and be like, well, we had to give them to somebody. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that fucking interesting? It's interesting. I don't know. But anyway, so let's move on to y'all favorite person. Like, and I don't understand why. All right. So y'all favorite fucking person, Nicki fucking Minaj. So everybody know her husband's a fucking sex fucking demon, right? Not demon, that don't sound right. A deviant. And apparently the Barbs, Nicki Minaj herself, and her bum ass husband apparently have been basically sending people to contact this girl and attack her character and basically just like threaten her to shut up about something that happened to her. I don't understand why Nicki Minaj acts like she can't control these motherfuckers. She is quick to put a picture down and tell people to get them. So now that this is happening, it's radio silent. She hasn't said a fucking thing. And we all know that she orchestrated this. And if she didn't, then she's perpetuated the attitude that it's okay for people to act like this to people that they don't fucking know, about some business that ain't fucking theirs. I don't care how much you like Nicki Minaj's music. I don't give a fuck about any of that. What it does, what that her music doesn't do is take away the fact that that nigga hurt someone. Okay, so like that's what it is. Listen. The fact that she had to get on the internet to tell you hoes to fucking chill the fuck out and basically asking Nicki Minaj to stop, to ask them to stop contacting her or having people to stop contacting her. Like, what is happening? What is happening? Where she's literally had to post a video begging people to leave her alone, leave my family alone, leave me alone. Like, because he's trash, like, help me make it make sense. If your favorite is okay with marrying fucking monsters, then let her be okay with marrying monsters. But like, at what point do you sit back and be like, oh, but I'm not gonna, that's your monster. I have my, like, stop it. Stop. She has her monster. That's not your monster. So I just don't understand like where it's okay or where anybody has a right to fuck with someone's peace that she probably, like, on some real shit, probably hasn't even truly achieved, because now her fucking rapist is fucking on TV and in tabloids and all over the fucking place because of who she fucking married. It's really fucking garbage. It's really fucking garbage. And I know that a lot of you barbs are definitely over, like, I'm gonna say 25, and I'm just like, this is me talking to you. Sit the fuck down. I don't know what it is. Her music still sounds like shit that we was listening to when we weren't 25 and 35, and like, come on, guys. Like, you guys are at this point standing against nobody. Like, she's really nobody to stand against. Like, it's so many other people that y'all can, like, stand against. Like, stand for, that is doing way more, that is not coveting fucking rapists. Because again, and I will fucking tell y'all this again until I'm blue in the face, this is not the first time I've told you guys about it. This is not the second time I've told you guys about it. She has a thing about being and hanging around with predators. I don't know what that is, but let that bitch have that. Let her have that. And like, the fact that you guys are like verbally assaulting and internet bullying a woman that y'all don't know, that y'all cannot confirm or deny happened or didn't happen. Y'all didn't even know this nigga Kenny until fucking whenever, like, just right recently. Like, so like, man, y'all piss me the fuck off. I promise. You guys are so fucking irritating with this shit. Grow the fuck up. Know that things happen to people, and know that if you don't know nothing the fuck about it, to shut the fuck up. And that's it. Like, that's it. I'm gonna move on because my voice is like starting to go, because I really fucking hate hearing news, because somehow her news is always about a fucking predator. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Go and let that nigga sit at home with his kid. Like, stop putting him in. Like, I don't want to see him no more. I don't want to hear nothing else about him. I don't want to hear nothing else about her. Go love on your little baby. Like, go do that instead of like, what, like, you fucking burn booking people. Like, this is, oh my God, this is not, I cannot. You're not Regina George, and you're not going to make a rapist happen, okay? You're not going to make it a thing. Fucking bitch. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean my last part to come out. So anyway, speaking of unwanted sexual advances, a Pahrump woman. The Pahrump is a super hicky place up this way in Nevada. That's all I'm gonna say. If anybody from Pahrump, I don't know, I probably shouldn't have called y'all hicky, but like compared to Vegas, like what are you gonna do? Anyway, so a Pahrump woman was taken into custody after misusing the sheriff's office emergency dispatch. Okay, so Pahrump will tell you that she's white. I'll let you guys take a few moments just to really think about what you guys think that she might have misused the 911 dispatch for. Like, was it calling the fucking police on a black person barbecuing? Was it calling, it actually, I could go on for days about all the things that black people get called the police on about. But anyway, so no, it wasn't any of those racist things as I would have liked it to be, but this is a little bit better. She called dispatch and spoke to a 911 dispatcher about sex and requested a male deputy respond to her house. During the conversation, she didn't seem like she needed super help, but she definitely was using the line to have a deputy respond to engage in sexual activity with her. This is according to the arrest report. So the guy, they did send a guy. It's so funny. So they sent a guy and they were advising on his way that she had called about 8 times. He arrived on scene, identified her. And so she stated that she admitted calling 911, but she didn't say what she called them about. Then she tried to say that the number that they're saying that she called from wasn't even her number. So what did he do? He got on the phone with dispatch and was like, yo, call a number that was calling us. And it rang underneath her couch, nigga. Like, so she like threw it under there. And so she gave him permission to answer the phone. It was dispatch. They were able to confirm that she had used that phone. She was arrested on suspicion of unlawful use of an emergency phone number and was transported to the Nye County Detention Center, and she was booked. She had bail for like $2,500. Listen, my thing is like, bitch, when you got the nigga there, like, why didn't you bust a move? Like, you was gonna get arrested anyway. You should have popped a titty out. Like, listen, if you call a fucking number 8 times for some dick, when some dick show up, you better fucking perform. Oh my God. I was like, really? And I was looking at her picture and she definitely seems like the type of bitch that would call. That she needs to, it's an emergency that she needs sex because it looked like she. I mean, if you gotta call, listen, why am I being so shy about saying that, like, she clearly doesn't look like she's had sex? Like, if you called 911 for it 8 times, I'm not being rude for saying that about you, okay? Listen. And she looks so upset. Like, she didn't even get no dick. Like, I feel you, girl. Listen. All right, guys. That's the episode. It's time for the one up for the week. I'm really not even super prepared. I try to tell like people that are around me this all the time. Like, those resolutions are for the birds. Put it on a fucking dream board. Make that shit happen. I guess, right? I mean, that's what I did. So last year, like 2 of the things on my dream board came to life, and I'd never done dream boards before. So I'm more inclined to believe that those work better than New Year's resolution. I've never had a New Year's resolution and that shit actually happened or actually follow through with that. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's because resolutions are bullshit. I don't know, but don't be so hard on yourself. If you want 2021 to start next week, then it starts next week. So that's it. All right, guys. It has been another wonderful episode. I'm so glad that you guys joined me here. Again, I'm Chris, your host. This is Shenanigans with Friends, episode 102, and I will see you next week. Bye.